When I saw the girl in the grocery store, my heart stopped. I had turned the corner into the dairy aisle, carrying a basket with just a few items in it: cereal, crackers, spaghetti, beer. I lived alone, worked a lot, and rarely cooked. I was checking a price when I almost ran into the girl. I stopped immediately and studied her in profile, her hand raised to her mouth while she examined products through the glass door of the dairy cooler. I felt like I was seeing a ghost. She looked exactly like my college girlfriend, Marissa Minor, the only woman I had ever really loved, probably the only woman who had ever really loved me. The girl didn't see me right away. She continued to examine the items in front of her, slowly walking away from me, her hand still raised to her mouth as though that helped her think. The gesture really got me. It made my insides go cold. Not with fear, but with shock. With feelings I hadn't felt in years. Marissa used to do the very same thing. When she was thinking, she'd place her right hand on her lips, sometimes pinching them between her index finger and thumb. Marissa's lips were always bright red, without lipstick, and full, and that gesture, that lip-twisting, thoughtful gesture, drove me wild with love, and, yes, desire. I was 18 when I met her. Desire was always close at hand. But it wasn't just the gesture that this girl shared with Marissa. Her hair, thick and deep red, matched Marissa's exactly, even the length of it, just below her shoulders. From the side, the girl's nose came to a slightly rounded point, one that Marissa always said looked like a light bulb. Both the girl and Marissa had brown eyes and long, slender bodies. This girl, the one in the store, looked shorter than Marissa by a few inches, and she wore tight jeans and knee-high boots, clothes that weren't in style when I attended college. But other than that, they could have been twins. They really could have been. And as the girl walked away, making a left at the end of the aisle and leaving my sight, I remained rooted in my spot. My silly little grocery basket dangling from my right hand. The lights above were bright, painfully so, and other shoppers came past with their carts and their kids and their lives. It was close to dinner time, and people had places to go, families to feed. But I stood there. I felt tears rising in my eyes, my vision starting to blur. She looked so much like Marissa. So much. But Marissa had been dead for just over 20 years. Finally, I snapped out of it. I reached up with my free hand and wiped my eyes. No one seemed to notice that I was having an emotional moment in the middle of the grocery store, in the milk aisle. I probably looked like a normal guy, 40 years old, clean-cut, professional. I had my problems. I was divorced. My ex-wife didn't let me see her son as much as I wanted. He wasn't my kid, but we'd grown close. My job as a caseworker for the housing authority in Eastland, Ohio, didn't pay enough. But whoever felt like they were paid enough. I enjoyed the work. I enjoyed helping people. I tended to pour myself into it. Outside of work, I spent my life like a lot of single people do. I socialized with friends, even though most of them were married and had kids. I played in a recreational basketball league. When I had the time and motivation, I volunteered at our local animal shelter, walking dogs or making fundraising calls. Like I said, I probably looked like a regular guy.